Hello. Well, this is Anita. Hello, everybody. This is Anita. Is anybody there? Anybody there? Okay, where are you? Hello, this is Anita, and this is our first Google Hangout for our books for the Big Girls Don't Cry book. This is what we're going to be talking about today is the Big Girls Don't Cry. Hopefully you can see that, and we're going to be going through this book today. And I hope that you guys will be able to get something from it. I'm excited. I'm hoping that you are excited about it as well. So this is the Big Girls Don't Cry, taking the emotions out of the finances. And I am excited uh, about it. I'm excited to share it with you right now. So those of you who have not purchased it, I would be glad that you will be that you want to purchase the book. I'm excited about it right now. That you have purchased it and that you're ready to purchase it. All right. Well, let's talk about the Big Girls Don't Cry, and let me tell you a little bit of why I decided to write this book. Okay, why I decided to write this book and the reason why I wrote it. The reason why I wrote the book. Well, the reason why I wrote the book is because um, I have been going through some financial difficulties my own self, and I just didn't care anymore. I just didn't care. And so one of the things that I decided to do was to start where I was. I didn't have the money. I wasn't caring. I was going through a divorce. I was upset. I was mad with myself, just mad with all kinds of things that were going on. And so what I tried to do was think about what I want to do. What is it that people are looking for? We're always looking to make our lives better financially. But let me back up a little bit more because I want to talk about how I actually got into doing this business, Money Wisdom for Women. A long time ago, I was doing accounting and taxes for small businesses and personal taxes for individuals. And a lot of women were coming to me with their taxes, and they were always kind of in debt. They didn't know what they were doing. Their finances weren't together. And so I started looking at that and trying to figure out, well, why is that? Um, because you uh, because you are very well equipped as far as you may earning six figures, and I was trying to figure out why. So what I did was I started researching and trying to figure out why. So that's how it came to Money Wisdom for Women. And then at the same time, I was dealing with my own financial struggles because of divorce. And then I had family members who were dealing with their struggles with their finances, and I just was trying to find out why. So what I did, first of all, was look into myself, and I said, look, I've got to stop this. Um, Things are coming to the mail, and I'm not paying them. I'm just saying I don't have the money. And then I said, okay, well, I don't have the money, so I'm just not going to do it. Well, I had to stop doing that. So this book came behind that. It became because I was trying to take care of myself, and it's called Big Girls Don't Cry, Taking Emotions Out of Finance. I hope you can see it. And it's a guide to financial security. And so I decided to do a couple things with this book. The first section of this book is just an introduction, of course, and then it asks you, chapter 1, kind of asks you some questions. It says, test your knowledge. So if you have your book, you just go to page 3 and it says, test your knowledge. It's kind of like, what is it that you are testing? Test your knowledge. What do you know about your finances? What is it that you know about your finances? Okay, what is it you know, what you don't know? And so it has about 20 questions in here, and it asks, how much is your gross income how much is your gross income is paid in taxes? Okay, do you know what the percentage is of that? What's the difference between gross income and net income? On sale, does it mean a true sale? Why or why not? What is your memory of money? And that's a good thing, because what we have going on with our money today is something that stems back from later years. Okay, it's from years when we were kids and our parents fight about money. What really happened when it came to our money? What really happened to that? Okay, so that is really, really important. And the next one, chapter 2, goes into gross income. What is gross income? How do you distribute your gross income? Then the next chapter is net income. What's the definition of net income? And it talks about, the other ones talk about savings, checking. So it's really, it talks about all kinds of different things when it comes to our finances. What is it that we are trying to get with our finances? Okay, so the other thing with that is, when we get to the last chapter, which is the whole book is important, but chapter 6 is really where I want us to be. Chapter 6 is really where I want us to be. Okay, in our book is chapter 6. So let's go over that. So it's called Recipe for Financial Security. Okay, and each one of these chapters I have a little saying that I wrote: patience and persistence is being passionate. This is for chapter 6. Patience and persistence is being passionate. All right, so let's go through this financial recipe for financial security, financial serenity, whatever it is that it is for you. Okay, whatever it is for you, that's what you are. That's what's important to you. All right. Number 1 is to start where you are. Begin your journey takes courage, especially the financial journey. Start where you are. And that's what I had to do. What do I mean by start where I am? That means that I had to start where I was. That means I had to start exactly where I was. I didn't have the money, so I had to start where I was. So what I did is I actually sat down in the middle of the floor and started putting all my bills in stacks. Put all the telephone bills, put all this bill, put all that one in stacks, and trying to figure out exactly how much I owe each person. So that was really important. It was really important to me is to try to figure out what I owe people. So I had to start where I was. Today is a new day. So in the book I talk about, now hopefully you got your book out, and I'm on page 37, list 3 things that help you start where you were. And the 3 things that helped me start where I was I had to put it in, I had to get a mindset. That was the first thing. Get the mindset. I had to take all the bills where I was and start where I was. Start there. Add them up. Do all the things that I needed to do at that particular time. So that's something that I had to do. All right. Next one is one of my favorites. Is make a date with your finances. And let me tell you why it's one of my favorites. It says, remember when you met that special someone in your hand, and you had your first date with them, how exciting it was. Well, that's the same thing that I want you to do with your finances. I want you to be excited. You're going to make a date with your finances. You're going to sit down with your finances and try to understand, spend the day or one day a week with your finances. It doesn't have to be a whole day. Maybe you only need half a day. Maybe you only need a couple of hours. But you want to list 3 dates that you can spend some time uninterrupted with your finances. Now, whatever it takes for you to be uninterrupted, that means pulling the phone out, for you to concentrate on your finances, whatever that takes, then do that. Create a savings plan. That's number 3. So this is one of my biggest ones because people always say to me, Anita, I put some money aside, but I always have to go and get it. Well, first of all, when you are creating a financial spending plan, which is the next step, you're going to be creating a savings plan and investment plan at the same time. And some of us don't have emergency plans. Some of us don't have a college savings, and we don't have a retirement plan. So we want to start, maybe you want to start with just 3%, maybe 1%, and then just go up to 3, 4%, 5%, whatever it is good for you, because not everything is good for you. Develop a financial spending plan, which is number 4. And this is really important because financial spending plan is different than a budget. I'm going to tell you how I work with my clients. What I do with my clients is I have them just continue to spend the way they've been spending. And we do 3 months of spending. You're going to track your finances. You know, track it down, see what you're spending, do that whole thing, figure that out, right? And so when you track it, then we're going to take the average because that's a better number. So think about what you've been doing with budgets. You've been trying to figure out the budget. You've been like, okay, I'll put this number down on the budget. I'll put this number, and once I put this number down, then this is the number that I'm going to use for my budget. I'm not going to spend beyond it. But what happens is you spend beyond it, then your whole budget is just gone. You just don't want to do it anymore. And so we want you to do better with your budget. It's not a budget anymore. It's called a financial spending plan because we're tracking. We know what our amount is that we have to spend for certain things, and that's what we're going to be doing. Know your weaknesses, and that is number 5. And what do I mean by weaknesses? I mean that you know who you need to help you. Do you need an accountant? Do you need a tax person? Who do you need to help you with this financial journey? Because you cannot go on this financial journey all by yourself. You have to have somebody on this financial journey. You have to have somebody on this financial journey. All right. Number 6, develop a wish list. And this is another one of my favorites. On your wish list, what is it that you want to pay off? What's the things that you want to pay off on your wish list? Okay. Write it down. Is it your mortgage you want to pay off early? Is it some credit cards? What is it that you want to pay off? And you got to figure out what is it going to take you, how long it's going to take you. This is your wish list. You put your wish list up. You try to get your wish list. You get that all straightened up. So you get that put up on your wall. You get that everywhere. So you have to get your wish list together. You just got to get your wish list together. That's really, really important. Really, really important. All right? Develop a wish list. That's number 6. Be realistic. Now, this is one thing you cannot do. You cannot say, I'm going to pay all the bills off at one time. You cannot say, I'm going to put $10,000 in the bank and say, I can't do it. I'm going to be able to do it in the next 3 months, because it's not going to work. You're just setting yourself up for failure. You're kind of setting yourself up for failure. And so we want you to be able to get people into your wish list. Okay, I mean, we want you to be able to get people to get to be realistic. I'm sorry, to get realistic. You want to pay things off. You got to be realistic because you're setting yourself up for failure if you're not realistic. So you got to be realistic when it comes to this. Definitely have to be realistic. All right? And that is number 7. Number 8, to be disciplined. Okay, we all fall off the wagon. Remember, we all fall off the wagon. You know, I tell the story that I am the Starbucks queen. Okay, I am the Starbucks queen. All right, I love the Starbucks. I love Starbucks. But at one point, I was spending lots of money at Starbucks. Now, I don't do it as like I used to. But at one point, I was spending a lot of money at Starbucks. But I don't do that anymore. I've tracked my Starbucks. I track it. And what I do is when I was tracking it, I was spending, like I said, I was spending $20, $30, $40 on Starbucks. But now I don't, because I was like, once I figured out that I was spending too much on the Starbucks, then I said, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Why am I spending so much money on Starbucks? And so I stopped doing that. But every now and again, you know, like last year was a really stressful year for me. 2013 was a really stressful year for me. And 2014 is pretty stressful. But 2013 was really stressful when I had to deal with some issues with family and flying back and forth to Louisiana. But now, and I was buying Starbucks almost every day when I was there, eating all kinds of crazy things. But when I got back, I had to get back on my plan. I had to stop buying crazy stuff, crazy foods to eat, and stop buying the Starbucks. So yes, so I had to start being disciplined. Remember, this is a long journey. Depending on what your journey is, a long journey. You've got to be prepared for your journey. All right, staying focused. In order to stay focused, okay, you got to stay disciplined and you stay focused. You write down your goals. You got your goals in front of you. You write them down. You got them in front of you. You're excited about them. Okay. It was suggested to me with my storyboard that I write the storyboard, my storyboard all over the house. I take one storyboard, put it in the kitchen, put it in the bathroom, put it in the living room, wherever I am in the house, and I go and I put all my storyboards, my financial goals in every one of those rooms so that I can see them. Because one of my weaknesses is that I work from home. And so there's always something that I need to do, always something that I need to do from home, always. And so that is really, really, really important that we do that. Okay, so staying focused and have fun. Now, say for instance, you actually decide that you paid something off on your wish list. You paid that off, and what you want to do is you want to have fun. Let's have fun with this. Let's have fun. What you do is after you have paid something off, after you've done on your wish list, you pay something off, treat yourself. Treat yourself to a bonus. Like, for instance, I made a challenge to myself last month, and then once I met my challenge, if I met my challenge, I was going to treat myself to something. And that's what you do. That's how you have fun. You treat yourself to something. Now, those of you who are viewing us on YouTube and you really are not on Google+, but you're viewing us through YouTube, we're talking about Big Girls Don't Cry, taking the emotions out of finances, and hopefully you have that. Now, you can chat with me, send me some messages. If you have questions, send me some messages through the Facebook or through my LinkedIn or through my Twitter account, which is MONE Wisdom Women. If you have questions, or you can email me at moneywisdomforwomen@gmail.com so that I can get your questions answered, because I know you got questions. I know you have questions about your finances. Those of you who are viewing us through YouTube, if you're not on Google+. Okay, but if you're on Google+, let's go to Google+, and so I can see you, and I can answer any of your questions because we got quite a few here. But we're excited about it, and nobody's really kind of talking. Everybody's kind of like hanging out for me to answer the questions. But here we are right now. Here it is. If you don't have this, and we got a great special going on because this book normally is $20, but now it's $15. And when I sell 5 books, I give 1 book to the domestic violence survivor at the Community for Peace. We give a book to them. And so that's what we're doing now is we're giving, I'm giving 1 book. Every time 5 books are sold, we give 1 book to that organization, to the domestic violence. I am a domestic violence survivor, and I want to be able to give a book to them because one of the things that I went through was I said that I couldn't leave because I couldn't financially support myself. And so this book will help you. It's not the end all, the be all, but this is part of it. Okay, this is part of it. This book will help. So those of you who have just joined, I'm happy that you're there. Come on in. Let me know what's going on. Email me. Whatever it is that you need, email me. Let me know what's going on. I'm here. I'm here to answer any of your questions. All right. So let's go back to the 10 steps. I want to make sure that the viewers that were on get all the 10 steps, and I'm just going to go through them really quickly. And if you have your book, okay, if you got your book, it's on page 37, okay? On page 37, that's where we are, Recipe for Financial Security. Start where you are. That's the very first one. Start where you are, okay? And in here, if you got your pencil, what I want you to do right now, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Start where you are. I want you to write down 3 things that can help you start where you are. What are the 3 things that can help you start where you are? Okay? I can tell you one of the 3 things that helped me was I had to stop, gather all my bills, and put them in stacks. Okay? I had to stop, gather all the bills, and put them in a stack. All right? What's the next one? Make a date with your finances. All right. I spend 1 day a week just dealing with my finances, whether it's half a day, whether I have to deal with it the whole day. I just make that commitment to doing that. Create a savings plan. All right. Some of us don't have an emergency plan, a travel plan, a college, or retirement. I want you to make a date with your finances. Make a date with your finances. Create a savings plan. You can start off with only doing 3%. If you need to do 3%, then do 3%. Okay? So what you want to do here is you want to list 3 types of saving plans that you will implement in the next 6 months. And that's on page 39 of the book. List 3 types of saving plans you want to implement in the next 6 months. And that could be a retirement plan, investment retirement plan. It could be a college savings. It could be an emergency plan. What about a travel? Okay, what about a travel? Some of you want to travel. I want to travel. All right? All right. The next one is develop a financial spending plan, formerly called a budget. And I want to take a little time with this one because what do we do? We're not doing budgets anymore, right? So what do you do when it's a budget? So what you do when it's a budget is that you say, I'm going to spend $25 on this, or I'm going to spend $100 on this. I'm going to spend $100 on that, right? And then once we go over, it was like, oh, the budget is gone. Or we say budget, I don't want it because it's so confining. Well, what I have tried to do with my clients is called a financial spending plan. So we track, this is a side secret. So we track our finances for 3 months. We don't change anything about them. We just track them for 3 months. And once we track them, we take the average. Say, for instance, you spent food. Say for food, we spent $200 one time, another $250 another, $150 another time. So we take that and we divide it by 3, and that's the average that we spend for our food. That's going to be our, and so you do that with every one of the items. Every one of the items. Okay? All right, so that's number 4 in our recipe for financial serenity. Know your weaknesses. Okay, so I don't mean any harm. Know your weaknesses. Do you need a tax person? Do you need an accountant? Do you need a banker? Who do you need to help you on this financial journey? Because it is definitely a financial journey. It is definitely a financial journey. It is not, and you cannot do this by yourself. It's really, really important that you find somebody to help you do that. Don't necessarily have to be me, but it can be somebody that's in that financial industry, and it's really, really important that you find somebody. So that's what number 5 is, know your weaknesses. Number 6, develop a wish list. What do I mean by wish list? What is it that you want to pay off? What bills, what invoices, what is it that you want to pay off? Let's develop that list. Let's write that down, give it a due date. How much do you have to pay on it? All right, to get it down by your due date. All right, take that wish list with you everywhere. It's a storyboard. If you have to have several storyboards all over your house, then you have several storyboards all over your house. You just do that. But you've got to be realistic. That's number 7. So you can't do an emergency fund for $10,000, pay off something for 20, do some other stuff, pay off the mortgage, do some other things. You can't do that because it's not realistic, and you're going to set yourself up for failure. And that's one thing that we don't want to be set up for failure. Okay? We don't want you to be set up for failure. Be disciplined. Okay? So that's why being disciplined, having your day that you spend on your finances so you can track and make sure tracking your finances, that's being disciplined, having your storyboard, having your financial goals done, all of those things, that is part of being disciplined. That's part of being disciplined. Stay in focus. Keep that storyboard in front of you all the time. It was suggested, I think I mentioned this earlier, suggested that I write my storyboard, and I have it in every room in the house. Everywhere I go, every room that I go in my house, I should be able to look at that storyboard and say, this is what I'm looking for, this is the focus that I'm on, and this is what I'm trying to do, right there. And the next one is have fun. Have fun. So what you do is, once you set up some financial goals for yourself, and you reach some of those goals, or you reach, say for instance, you got a goal if you want to save $5,000, but and every time you get to $100, or maybe every time you get to 200, you do something special for yourself. You don't spend the 100 or the 200 that you save. You do something special for yourself. Maybe you might want to have ice cream. Okay, you may want to buy yourself a little something, but you don't take the $100 that you've already saved. You take some more money and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Or you go to the movies. You do something special for yourself. So that's what you kind of look at. That's what you want to do. That's exactly what you want to do. Now, I know that you're out there, and I know you probably got questions. So where are you with your questions? Let me know where you are with your questions. Give me a moneywisdomforwomen@gmail.com. That's the email. And if you're out there, we got chat going on. If you're on the Google Plus, you can chat. If you are on the YouTube, you can put something in the comments section. We're there. We're waiting. I'm waiting for you. Where are you? Or if you are on Facebook under the where we were as far as the invitations are concerned, when I invited you, if you're there, you got a question, ask your question there, and let me answer your question. If you don't have this, make sure you get it, because it's very special. We got some things going on. We got some things going on, and it's really, really, you're going to love it, okay? You're going to love it. So if you're there, here we are. Big girls don't cry if you don't have it, all right? And I know some of you picked this up. I'm happy that you've done that. I'm excited that you've done it, and it's just amazing. I'm just happy that you have picked this up. I'm not sure. Okay, somebody got a question. All right, I'm happy about that. So I'm going to read the question. They chatted me with the question. It's like, Anita, I've read your book. I'm excited about getting your book. What are some of the other things that I should be where do I start? Where do I start with my financial goals? I've got my financial goals. It seems that it's not adding up. Well, one thing that I try to teach women, I try to educate women and some men too, but what I try to do is I try to deal with our unhealthy habits. And if you go back to the first part of the book, there's some questions in that test your knowledge. And there's some questions, and one of the questions in there is saying, what are your early recollections or memory of money? Did your parents fight about money? Who handled the money in your household? Did one person have the hold over another person? Even in your adult life, how did that work for you? Who actually, if you were married and were married, what happened there? So sometimes we got some unhealthy habits, right? And so this is how I work with my clients, and I can give you an example of some of the clients that I've been working with. One client that I've been working with, and yes, I can tell you about 1+1. And yes, if you need life insurance, yes, if you need a financial spending plan, yes, if you need all of those things, yes, I can help you work on those things. But the meat part of this is that can I help you change some of your thinking about finances? Can I help you change your mindset? And that's what's important, is to change our mindset. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what is going on with your finances. Had a client that I'm working with, part of the things is her attitude towards finances, her attitude towards herself, because she had lots of credit card debt. She had borrowed from her retirement, and she was in her 50s. She retired. She had borrowed from both her retirements in her 50s, and she didn't own a home. She did own a car, which was cool, but she had so much so much debt, and each one of her credit cards were either 19, 20, 23% interest, and they were maxed out. And so once we got down to the nitty gritty of it, and she was a hoarder. Okay, so she was a hoarder too. So one of the things that what I try to do with people is I try to figure out what is it that is stopping you from being the best that you can be financially. Okay, and once we figure out what's happening with you financially, what is holding you back from being the best that you can be financially, we work on other things. The thing that was holding her back is that she thought she didn't deserve things. And it came from childhood. It basically came from childhood, and it followed her into her adult life. All right? And even at the point that we were working together, she always thought that other people deserved things better than she did. So she was using her money to help other people, to help her family. Okay? Don't mind you helping family, but at some point in time it has to stop, because you have to work on yourself. Take me for example. Grew up kind of spoiled, and so when I got married, it kind of went into that same thing. It's like, I don't understand why I can't have. I don't understand. I don't have to explain to you why I need such and such, but that's not the way that works. You work in a marriage, you're working together. You work together, you do the things that you need to do to make your financial life better. And so it's very, very important that we understand what has happened to us. And the first part of this book, like I said, chapter 1 has questions. It has questions that you, if you haven't gone through questions through the first chapter of the book, or you haven't purchased the book, then the one thing that you want to do is you really want to go through these questions first. So hopefully you guys can see these questions. If you don't have the book, if you do, go through these questions first, because that's important before you even get to anything, because this sets the foundation. These questions set the foundation of what is important to you. It sets that foundation, right? And it's 20 questions. It's not that very difficult. One of the questions, let's say, what do you consider your money success? Meaning, What have you done successfully? Have you started a retirement investment plan? Do you buy stock? Do you buy mutual funds? Did you pay off a bill? Those things are very, very important. Okay, they're very important, and so those are money successes. Those are considered money successes, and that also goes back until basically in number 8 of our financial recipe is because we're disciplined, and because we're disciplined, we have financial successes. Did we put up our storyboard? That's a financial success. Did we do that? All right. So another question, a financial spending plan. So I talked about a question about financial spending plan. All right. Thanks for the questions. I'm enjoying it. Although I can't see everybody on the screen, nobody wants to talk, but financial spending plan. Let me explain that again. You know how we used to have this thing called budget, right? I know you remember the budget, right? And so how's your old way of thinking of a budget? Your old way is thinking, okay, I'm going to throw up some numbers. I'm going to say I'm going to spend $20. That's a little bit too low. I'm going to spend $100 on shoes, right? I'm going to spend $200 on clothes. I'm going to spend $300 on food. You just throw them up on the wall and hope it sticks, right? And then so you spend more than $100 on food. You spend more than $100 on the clothes. You spend, and you say, oh, budget is done. Can't do the budget. But one thing that I've noticed is sometimes my clients have to stop, and what they do is they take what they haven't spent over here and they want to put it over here to make it balance. That's not real. We're not going to do that. If you say it's $100 for something, that's what it's going to be. Not you take something from over here and make it balance, right? All right. So let's get back. No budget. So we call it a financial spending plan. So I walk through what this book is saying. That's why we're doing this today, so we can go over this. You take 3 months and you start tracking. And in fact, in this particular book, let me get to the page number 49, there is an example of a tracker. So you track your finances. You don't stop spending the way you've been spending. You continue to spend the same for 3 months. You track it, all right? Now, somebody that came on late is asking this question. You're going to track it. You take 3 months and you track everything. You put it in categories. You do everything else. And say your food bill ends up being $200 per month, right? Or $250, something to that effect. One time is $200, another's $250, maybe another's $200. You take those 3 numbers, add them up, and divide them by 3, because that's 3 months. And that's what your average food bill would be. And that's the number you're going to use when we do a budget or a financial spending plan. So you're still going to be doing your tracking throughout the month. You track you throughout the week, and that's why we have a date with our finance, a weekly date with our finance, because say for instance you Let me know. Can you see me? Let me know. Can you hear me now? Okay. I think you can hear me now. I think maybe you can hear me too much. How about that? That's better. All right, good. Okay. I think that's a little bit better. All right, so here again, the book, right? And we've gone through the 10 steps. And if you got questions, you can moneywisdomforwomen@gmail.com. I hope that you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me or not, and I'm hoping you can. And so it's we're doing. I want to help you. I want to make your financial life much better. We've got several ways that we can do this. We're doing these hangouts, and we're going to try to do these hangouts every every second Wednesday of the month at the same time. We're also going to be doing. We got special lunchtime specials on the second Wednesday of the month. We did one last week, so we're going to be doing another one. Okay, that must have been the first one. So the second one, we're going to be doing those. And in fact, let me just give you the dates. So the next lunchtime special. All right, so make sure that you look on Facebook and make sure that next lunchtime special will be September 3rd. Okay, so that's the next lunchtime special. Okay, I can hear you now, but I can't see. Oh, I'm so sorry. What's going on? I'm sorry. You can't see me. Okay, maybe you should go over to the YouTube, to the Money Wisdom for Women YouTube, and then maybe you can see me and hear me all at the same time. How about that? Go over to the Money Wisdom for Women YouTube and see if you can see me that way. All right? So, and then get back to me. So our next lunchtime special will be September 3rd. Our next Google Hangout, again, will be September 10th. And then the lunchtime special is always at noon. And then the Google Hangout is always going to be at 4. So yes, go to, if you can't see me and you can't hear me, I mean, you can hear me, but you can't see me, go to the YouTube, Money Wisdom for Women YouTube, and see if you can't get it that way. Let me see if I can give you the link really quick on this, okay? Let me make sure that I can give you the link. All right. So, can you see me? Can you see me now? All right. Well, I'm hoping that you can see me, hear me, do all those things. All right. Well, you know what? It has been fun. I am going to, if you guys send me an email at moneywisdomforwomen@gmail.com, and we're going to try to work out some of the kinks that we have on these Google Hangouts, because they're really important, because I want interaction from you. I need interaction from you, not just typing questions, but also being on the screen so we can see you and have that interaction. I want to see your lovely faces out there. I do. I want to see your lovely faces. Yeah, I want to see you. I want to see your lovely face. Another person said, "I can't. I was on Google Hangout, but I can't find the number. I sent you the link." So we got a whole lot of things going on. Yeah, we got a whole lot of things going on. So next time we're gonna do much better. This is great. You know, great way to communicate. Send me an email, moneywisdomforwomen@gmail, and I'm pretty sure that this will be on YouTube, and that you could go back and listen to it on YouTube as well. All right, so I want to thank all the listeners out there, all the people out there. If you haven't gotten the book, get the book. Next time we'll be going through some other things, maybe how to do at your request. Send me some requests of what you want to talk about, And we'll talk about that on our Google Hangout because that's really important, okay? So anyway, I'm going to stop broadcasting now. You can go to Money Wisdom for Women YouTube, download it, and look at it again. And I want to thank everybody out there for learning. Make sure you know, big girls don't cry. They don't cry. They get their financial storyboard together. They do their financial spending plan. They are disciplined. They are focused, and we are going to be focused, and we stop those unhealthy habits, and we get right into those healthy habits that help us make our financial goals much, much better. Thank you.